Good afternoon, Coach Kahl.
Hey.
Back for another edition of 5 Good Minutes here. Your team, since we've last talked, you've played one game. You won that game last week. You beat Finlandia 74-61. Katie DeWitt had a 26-14 performance. Molly Sir and Kristen Shabluski also were in double figures for scoring. While Megan Myrie pulled down some big boards, and Allison Johnson, some of your main contributors are doing well, but what were your thoughts from that game?
Oh, it was just good to get a win. When you go a long stretch of time without winning a game, just everything feels a little bit better when you get a win. And we were down, I think, 7-8 points in the first half, and not sure where it was going to go, but made some defensive adjustments, and were able to get a kind of run together, and then get up by 3 points at halftime, and then kind of extend it at the beginning of the second half. So it's just good to see some smiles on some faces after the game.
With Katie won the UMAC Player of the Week award yesterday, and today she was named the NCCA Women's Basketball Student Athlete of the Week. What would you say to people who have the approach of, well, as Katie DeWitt goes, so does the Northwestern team?
Well, I mean, there's certainly something to that. You can see her numbers that, but she's been pretty consistent even in games that we've won or lost. So. The better she shoots, the more difficult we are to guard, especially from the perimeter. If she's shooting well from the perimeter, then it makes us pretty hard to guard. She's been pretty consistent getting to the basket, pretty consistent rebounding. So we're best when we can get to the second score, a third score. Mega's been fairly consistent on the inside. We're just looking for that second score, especially from the perimeter, to be more consistent.
One of those potential scorers is Molly Sir. As a freshman, Molly scored 15 points last week against Finlandia, career high. In terms of points, she was 6 of 11. Where have you seen Molly improve since you first saw her in the gym this fall up until now?
Well, just her consistency. It's just a different speed for a new player coming in. And Molly's a good shooter, and you can see that. And you can see that in the gym in the fall. She spends a lot of time working on her shot, and she's a good shooter. We just haven't been able to see that in games yet, and it's just like I said, it's just a different speed. She's understanding where her shots are supposed to come from now within our system of play, and so we're excited to see what she can do as she starts to look to be a little bit more aggressive and understanding what her role is.
In terms of cumulative statistics, you're on the losing side of the rebounding battle with your opponents by 3 rebounds, and you're being outscored by about 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see your team getting better from the start to the season till now? And what are some areas, in addition to that you can continue to work on?
Yeah, I think we're getting better. Like we've talked about a number of times, our 2 biggest areas of concern have been giving up offensive rebounds and turning the ball over. So those continue to be 2 areas that we're concerned with. I think that would help with the point differential if we're able to control those things a little bit better. And we've played good basketball in stretches. We just have not really been consistent enough throughout entire games to be able to put it all together.
Tonight you have University of Wisconsin at Superior coming to the Erickson Center. What do you know about them?
They're a good WIAC team. They're very athletic. They can get to the basket. They've got some quick guards. They got some big athletic post players. So, like any of those teams that we've played from that conference, I expect them to be a really good team and a really good test for us.
You've got, after tonight, you don't play another game until well after the Christmas break. I think it's the 29th of December. Mm-hmm. What's your approach? I know we talked a little bit about it last week as far as having such a big slew of games around the Thanksgiving holiday and then having a big break. But what's your plan for the team after tonight's game?
Yeah, we'll practice the rest of the week. I'm kind of do probably a fun Christmas practice on Friday to mix it up a little bit. And then next week we'll take the 4 days over finals, and we'll give them some time. We'll shorten practice a little bit, but we'll still take some time just to try to maybe add some new little things that we're going to work on, or fine tune some of the things that we have to work on. Like I said, with all these string of games, I think we've played 3 or 4 games more than anybody else in our conference, and we just haven't had much time to practice and work on some things. So I'm looking forward to that 4-day stretch. Then they'll have a big chunk of time. I don't know if it's 8-9 days for Christmas break, where they can go home and do that type of thing. We'll bring them back then right after Christmas break and get ready to play on the 29th at Wartburg.
What does a coach call Christmas practice preview? Give us a preview into that. What's that look like?
Like the fun practice?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I know one thing I typically like to do. We'll play the old Iowa 6-on-6. I teach them how they used to play because when I grew up, that's the way that they played girls basketball in high school. So it's always fun just to see them and teach those rules. And so we'll do some of that. We'll probably let them have some kind of fun dress up time. They'll like to do different things like that, and let them plan a little bit of the practice, and we'll do some different games that way.
The old Iowa 6-on-6 where there's 3 on one side,
Yep.
3 on offense,
Yep.
3 on defense.
So you're either a forward or you're a guard, and you don't cross half court. So it's always a little interesting to see them play that style.
Awesome. Well, we'll look forward to it. Thanks a lot. Merry Christmas early.
Thank you. You too.
All right.